So if you watch any of my videos, you already know that I talk about the importance of classic styles and timeless wardrobe pieces like all the time. But what does that actually mean? What are classic styles? And that's what I'm gonna cover in today's video. Because look, here's the thing. As a dude, once you hit your 40s and even mid 40s and beyond, your wardrobe should reflect a lot of that confidence and the maturity that you've established over all these years being on the planet. You no longer need to shout to the world that you're successful or that you're important or that you're a force to be reckoned with, right? You're past all that. It's not about giant logos, and it's a lot more about quiet luxury. And it's also not about following trends. It's about developing a personal style that stands the test of time so that we're not a slave to fashion or what the fashion industry says that we should be wearing. Leave that to the young guys who still haven't figured out who they are yet. Because at this stage in your life, you know who you are and you know what you want. And if you want to start dressing a little bit better, I hope you'll stick around. All right, first things first, blue jeans. A classic, well-fitting, medium to dark wash pair of non-distressed blue jeans are gonna be a must. Avoid the trendy fits and go with something that flatters your body type. And that's typically gonna be something in like a slim fit or a straight fit or even an athletic taper. It's all gonna depend on your body type, but please avoid oversized baggy fits and avoid anything really skin tight. Because let's face it, part of getting older and more mature is understanding and knowing how clothes should fit your body. And sure, of course, you can have other washes and other colors of jeans. And also, just for the record here, you don't have to like or run out and buy anything that I'm gonna recommend in this video today. This is really just meant as a general guide to know what to look for if you are trying to tighten up your wardrobe with some classic pieces. Next are gonna be a few different shirts. First of all, the classic cotton button down. So this is gonna be your classic timeless button down collar shirt that's gonna look good on practically everybody. Now the button down collar makes the shirt casual and sharp, and that's also why it's called a button down. But one bonus tip, gentlemen, these buttons on the collar, those are not optional. They should always be buttoned. Now, of course, make sure the fit is dialed in and feel free to add colors like white and maybe a few different shades of blue to add some versatility to your wardrobe. The next classic shirt is a good old plaid flannel. This is gonna be your cold weather staple. Now, of course, you can go with a really bold pattern, but I might suggest going with something a little more subdued, even though that's a little hard to do with plaid. Now the pattern, that's already gonna draw a lot of attention just because of the bold nature of plaid itself. So contrast or excessively bold plaids don't necessarily need to be over the top to draw even more attention. Keep it simple. The next classic item are cotton chino pants. So if you guys follow my pal Jeff over at the Style OG YouTube channel, he always says that chinos are like the Swiss Army knife of pants, and he's absolutely right. Chinos fill a really nice sweet spot between jeans and dress pants. And of course, they can be dressed up with a nice pair of shoes, a dress shirt, and a jacket, or they can be dressed all the way down with a pair of sneakers and even a t-shirt. Once again though, pay attention to the fit and make sure that those chino pants aren't too tight, too baggy, or even too long. And one of the very best things to ever happen to cotton chinos was the introduction of stretch material. Gone are the days of stiff cotton chino pants because today's chinos are gonna move with you and stretch and almost feel like you're wearing a pair of sweatpants. I would maybe suggest 3 base colors, blue, tan, and gray. But of course, you can add more colors like olive if you want to, but those 3 base colors, those are gonna be the most versatile. Now, moving on to shoes. Go with classic casual leather sneakers over canvas sneakers. And I'll talk about dress shoes in just a second, but the casual leather sneaker is an absolute must-have classic. They're comfortable, they're stylish, and they can be worn with your blue jeans, with your chinos, and even shorts in the summertime for a really nice, relaxed, yet stylish look. Find something without a lot of visible logos and branding or bright, bold colors. Now, white is my favorite, and it's what I would absolutely recommend for a first pair. After that, you can add brown, black, and even blue. The next shoe is a classic Oxford dress shoe, and I would say that if you only had one pair of Oxfords, make it something in a medium brown, not black. So brown's gonna be way more versatile, and brown can be worn on tons of different occasions with tons of different colors. Black shoes are generally preferred for more formal occasions, right? Like weddings and funerals, elevated dinner parties, or business events. And if those are things that you do on a regular basis, then absolutely you should also have a pair of black Oxfords. But if you just want one pair, I would do something in brown. Now, moving on to the next classic and stylish wardrobe piece, and that's going to be sweaters. The classic merino wool V-neck is my personal favorite, and I think it's just because it's a lot easier to wear a collar shirt underneath. Crew necks sometimes get a little bit constricting around the neck in my opinion, so I always opt for a V-neck style. Now, this should be a well-fitting, relatively thin material instead of something thick and bulky. Consider this sweater your nice sweater because that's exactly what it is. Now, the next sweater would either be a button front cardigan or a zip-up sweater. Both are pretty similar because they both open in the front, but typically the cardigan sweater is going to wear and drape just a little bit longer. Now, the zip sweaters that I own, these are a little more like a fitted bomber jacket, right? There's some ribbing down towards the bottom seam so it stays kind of snug around your waist. But both of these are classic and they're both stylish. You can go casual with a t-shirt underneath or dress things up a little bit with a collar underneath. And speaking of bomber jackets, this is the next classic and stylish item on my list. So bomber jackets are typically going to have some gathering down at the waist, at the bottom, and also some gathering at the sleeves, but some don't. And the collar is also generally going to be pretty short. There's endless colors and materials, but I would tend to look at black, blue, and brown as a good place to start. You can go inexpensive in something like a synthetic or polyester material, but if you want that one nice bomber jacket, find something in a brown suede because those look amazing. Now, I'm going to touch briefly on suits for just a minute, but this is where things tend to get a little bit optional. Now, I do believe that every man should own a well-fitting suit, and I also believe that it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. But chances are, a couple times a year, you've got that work conference, that big event, that wedding, or the really nice holiday party, and all of those events might require a suit. So in that case, investing in a suit would be a pretty good idea. But if that's not your lifestyle, that suit is just going to hang in your closet and never get used. So that's kind of why I'm saying a suit is sort of optional. But a sports jacket, on the other hand, I would say is something that you should have. Because look, this is a classic item that can easily be dressed up with a pair of dress pants and a tie, or dressed down with, say, a nice pair of denim and some loafers for something casual but still stylish and elevated. And listen, one more thing. If you made it this far, you are definitely one of the true legends. Please subscribe if you're not already. And as always, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Live well, and I'll see you in the next one.